spokespersons, and we know definitely that we are working to make this a much more better one. So bringing in on the program right this very minute will be Dovey Wang. Dovey Wang will be taking us through a couple of things within the next 15-20 minutes just to update our people. And afterwards, we'll be bringing David White, who have been one of the lead developer within the YFII community. And he will also be explaining to us the entire concept, especially from the developer angle, and also what YFII means. That is after Dovey had rounded off a session. Then I will take us through the process of staking and for us to know a little bit more about it. So we're trying to discuss fully, mainly from YFII, which is YFII.finance. We're also trying to talk about DeFi. We're also trying to talk about yield aggregators. It's still a new concept, I must say, and that's why you see a lot of disclaimer information once you come onto the onto the website of YFII.finance. You'll see a lot of information there, and we advise people to always take it easy, trade with cautions, and then see what it goes. This is still a new concept, and we're trying to build it through a decentralized community from all over the world. People watching from all over the world. We have 30 different countries right now that have tuned in to watch, and I'll allow you to take over to you.
Cool. Hey guys, just want to make sure my voice is okay.
Yes,
okay.
Your voice is okay.
Here we go. Okay, yeah, here we go. Sounds good. Hey guys, my name is Davi Wan. So I'm the founding partner of Primitive Ventures as well as advisor to CoinDesk. So I've been in this space for about 6 years now. And so my first investment into Bitcoin and like crypto asset that was back in 2014. So that's actually my first bull market, like the first bull cycle that I have experienced. Yeah, and it's so happy to be here online with the global community here. And I know there's community so like there are community members all all across the globe for the entire YFII community. And like even though I think it's right now it's a little bit Chinese concentrated because I myself, I was born and raised in China and I moved to US at the age of 20. And so like the lead developer and like the other core community member for now, so they're I would say 80% Chinese, and so 80% local Chinese people. So I think for now it's a little bit just over-indexed on Chinese itself, but over time we definitely want to expand the community to a more global traction. And so I have been helping bridging the information. So I have been helping bridge the information disconnection between the between the Chinese and general, like the Eastern crypto community to the entire Western crypto community. So I've been pretty active on like Weibo, like the Chinese Twitter equivalent, as well as crypto Twitter. So first I want to share a little bit about my own experience with the whole DeFi, I would say. So it might be helpful to give a little bit more background about DeFi in general. And I think most of us, like especially for all the audience out there, and so who has already involved in crypto and have definitely heard about DeFi and has probably has experience with all different DeFi protocols like Maker, like Aave, and like Compound, etc. And then also YFII. And so like that's actually created by Andre. So like what's actually DeFi? So DeFi, so I myself, because I'm a hardcore like Bitcoiner, and so I myself, I consider, to be honest, that Bitcoin like is the first DeFi product and like the biggest application on top of Bitcoin as a platform is actually money, right? So money is the biggest application. So in order to define DeFi more specifically, I would say there will be two dimensions in order to define what is an authentic DeFi. First of all, is there any permission? So if you want to participate in this specific financial ecosystem, right? And so as we all know, if you trade on all these centralized exchanges, and so you have to do KYC, you have to create like specific account. And so if you want to be the market maker, and you have to register with them, and then so you have no idea what kind of an asset that will be listed there, because all of this has to be verified by this trusted third party, right? And so I think permissionlessness so I would consider as the first critical element and like characteristic that can define a true authentic DeFi. So the second characteristic of a authentic DeFi gonna be like, is your money, is your capital is under the custody of any trusted third party, right? When you are using either MakerDAO or like Aave or the other DeFi protocol, or like say for instance like YFII, and like no one is actually keeping your capital or your money under their own custody, right? So there's no possibility of rob hook. And so later on, I will talk about the risk of DeFi. So like things like admin key, things like contra risk. And so like the beauty of DeFi is like your capital and your money is actually under the custody of a smart contract. So smart contract is execution machine, right? So it can guarantee 100% execution. So there's no individual or a group of people somewhere in the world that's actually keeping your money or capital under custody. So those are the two key elements that I define in true DeFi or like authentic DeFi. So like talking about my own journey on the whole DeFi ecosystem, I'd invested Kyber back in 2013, and then also so like chat with like the very OG DeFi player like Bancor and Maker 0x and etc. So I think the first generation DeFi we can think about all the way back to Ether Delta actually. So it is not just Bancor or like the other like Kyber. So like who have been working on the whole DeFi thing since like 2017. And then like fast forward to 2020, and we have seen like an explosion of all different DeFi protocol like coming into the place, and especially getting into crypto mainstream. And I think like one important thing is the yield tracing, right? Because I think other than China and like Europe, US, Japan, so like they're all in this like negative interest rate zone, right? And so for the average citizen out there, and so like if you want to keep your money in the bank, and you have to give the bank the money to, so you have to actually pay the bank to keep your money under custody. And so like on the other hand, so when we come to the crypto world, and we have seen like 10% APY if you are like a crypto lender. So it's a very common interest rate. So that you can earn on your crypto asset. So I think it's this yield chasing, not just within our crypto universe, but expanding from the fiat universe and then all the way to the crypto universe, that actually made the whole DeFi like definitely blooming in 2020. And like the other so I think the other contributing factor is also we have seen all the central bankers like they have been printing money like crazy, and so we have abundance of like liquidity out there, like especially after I think especially after like the post-COVID like era, right? So we have abundance of fiat liquidity, and we have a very high we have a very high base interest rate here in our like crypto universe, and so that is like the macro yield tracing happening now. And I think when Andre created YEarn, and so when Andre first created YEarn, so that is in June this year. So I was among the very first person to actually to yield farming YEarn as well, so like YFII.1. And so like the whole yield farming started from like compound, and like this is not like a so this is not a strange concept like to most of the Chinese crypto members down here, because many of the second-tier exchanges has been doing this liquidity mining or just transfer mining program back in 2017 and like 2018. And so we are actually very familiar with this liquidity mining program. So what is liquidity mining? And it's actually pretty straightforward. As we all know, Bitcoin mining is proof of work, right? And you basically buy a whole bunch of physical miners, and so you buy a bunch of like physical Bitcoin miner and try to exchange the electricity or just the natural energy with something that is like digital asset that has like a true scarcity. So that is like Bitcoin mining. That is proof of work. Like proof of work, like the work itself is counting hashes, right? And when it comes to liquidity mining, and I think a more straightforward just mental model, and I will consider as a proof of capital. So the proof of capital, it is not specific just to DeFi liquidity mining, and proof of stake is also like a one form of like proof. So like proof of stake is also one form of proof of capital. And so like what the DeFi liquidity mining like makes it very unique is it is actually combining a reward or like a growth hacking program together with, I would consider, together with this token distribution mechanism, because that this is the first time that we can have something that's relatively fair and extremely transparent, like not like the last time ICO thing, right? So last time the ICO is very opaque, and so there can be layers of like pre-sale, pre-sale, angel rounds, and so for like a specific token, and you have no idea how the token distribution mechanism actually is. So I think like this time when it comes to the DeFi yield farming or just liquidity mining, everything is controlled by the contract, and so like you will know like what is your share. So what is your share so you will know what is your share, and like you can also predict what gonna be your share as long as you stake as long as you can stake like a specific capital into the pool. So it's a growth hacking mechanism together with a token distribution mechanism. Yeah, so I think that's like the macro background of DeFi, of this yield farming phenomena, and probably let's talk about the whole YFI family, and so either YFI 1, and then now we can talk more about YFI 2 and like what's going on. So the origin of YFI 2. So like the origin of YFI 2 actually comes from one of the specific proposal for YFI 1. And David probably can talk more about like what is his initial thought when it comes to making this proposal. So like the Y earn improvement proposal number A. So that's what David proposed about a month ago. So wanting to change the distribution mechanism or just the vesting schedule of the YFI 1 token into more like a Bitcoin style. Like every week, and so there will be like a halving going on. So like this can be like a lasting scheme and like can be more sustainable. And then also like the DeFi halving is something like all of us in the crypto community are very familiar with. And then so because it has a long lasting cycle, like other than just a 1 week distribution, and like once it's out, and like once it's out, there's just that zero supply, because it has a longer distribution cycle, that over time it will have like more opportunity to bring on partners and then to just tune the strategy, things like that. And I believe that is the initial thought when I believe that is the initial thought when they first proposal. So that when they will first make this proposal, when I first learned about YFI 2, and so I was very skeptical, and like anybody out there, because I thought it can be like a straight on scam, because like the admin key was not burned yet, and like there's no multi-sig, and I think like after the first day, and someone actually reconnect me with David, because I knew David back in 2017, and we met each other in late 2017 when he was working on the other crypto project. And then I realized, oh, so that's actually what made by David. So because I have this long-term trust with David, and even before I knew he's behind like YFII, and once I know this is like his creation, and I have a lot more trust and a lot more confidence, and then afterwards, and I was involved in their afterwards I was involved in like the core group discussion about whether we should burn the admin key, or like should we actually just do like a multi-sig style. And so the whole community decided, so like the biggest risk right now when it comes to all this DeFi protocol, like first is potential smart contract bug, right? And then so like we all know about that, and we have a lot of hacks. Like there's hack on like the recent hack on like D4, let's say for instance, like previously like back in like 2015. So there's also like a famous like DAO hack. Like it is not like a hack, but it's like a smart contract bug, and basically locking like over 200 million US dollar, and it's just like sucking to like the black hole, and so nobody can like take it out. And like the whole DAO thing eventual result in the whole hard fork of Ethereum, and so like the hard fork of the whole Ethereum, right? And like smart contract is definitely high risk, and so like that's why I have said it on Twitter that any unaudited smart contract is just like unprotected sex, and so you have to be self-responsible for like what you might be getting to. So when I was involved in their like core group discussion, like the first thing, and I urged them to do, is like we should just do like a full-blown security audit of the whole contract, and that is like the step one for the long-term sustainability, and also gain like a global trust of the whole protocol. And then the second thing is, should we do a multi-sig on the admin key, or should we just burn it once for all, right? This is also what I consider as the biggest black swan event for any DeFi protocol out there. And like, say for instance, right now, Aave is also a multi-sig, I believe, and like Compound is managed more by like a DAO style. And like the admin key is basically the key to the entire capital reserve pool. And when it comes to multi-sig, like the potential risk is you have no way to prove to the world that the multi-sig are actually handled by different individuals. Like one individual can split up. So like one individual can have like multiple addresses and just like keep the multi-sig. So like there's just like no way to prove that. And like there also can be collusion. There also can be all these like unexpected events, right? And so like that's why I think the team, in order to make it 100% just like ironclad secure, and like the team just decided to just like burn the admin key once and for all. And so like that's why right now when it comes to that's why right now when it comes to the YFII, like the whole staking contract and the vault, and like no one can just take the money because like the key has burned. Like there's just no key at all, right? So I think like after these two steps, and like after we have the security audit, and like after we burn the key, and I have a lot more trust like on the team and on the future of the project. And I think that's pretty much the background of how the project initially started, and then how I get involved, and then so what is my transition of my relationship with the project from first like being very skeptical and later on to a lot more confident on the whole thing. And I want to give, so I think there's definitely not enough communication on the English channel, especially on Telegram and Discord. And I'm not using Discord that often, so it's just, for me, it's just Telegram. So I want to give everybody a quick update on on the overall community statistic of our current Chinese community. So we have, let me see. So we have 10 different WeChat groups, just the generic WeChat groups, and like anybody can join. Just like our Telegram group. And we have like 10 of them because like WeChat has this. So like for like each WeChat group, we have a member limit, like up to 500. So we have about 5,000 community members like in our Chinese speaking community, and that's just on WeChat. And we have people on Weibo, on many other social media channels as well, and those are very hard to. So those numbers are very hard to pull, and like other than the 10 generic groups, we have like 1 developer groups, and we have about 30-ish developers out there, and just like volunteer helping do the counter audit, like do like all kinds of like developer thing. And we have like 1 WeChat group that's just for the front end, and we have like 1 WeChat group for for the operation, just for community operation. And we have like 1 WeChat group right now, and just for partnership and for. So for instance, there's a lot of like Chinese DeFi project wants to partner with us, and then also like centralized exchanges, like stuff like that. And so like that's for the BD group. And we have like 1 WeChat group that's for for the vault strategy. And I'm not sure our community member are familiar with our vault. And you can consider vault as just consider vault as a bank, right? So as a asset management, so as something as your pension account or like as any asset management account. Like the vault is basically a smart contract managed yield optimization aggregator. So like that's my own definition of the vault. So like the vault strategy is actually pretty important for us, and now we have over $32 million right now in the vault, and then so we basically leverage like the capital there, and then just yield farming all the possible protocols out there that has passed our security audit verification. Yeah, so that is the structurally. So that is the organizational division within our Chinese community, and is definitely by volunteer. Like everybody just work part-time, and most of us, like I think 100% of us, and we are YFII holders, and so I think that's the Chinese community statistic update. And I think I can also quickly talk about the future plan if we have time. Lucky, and I think, do you think I have like
yes
5 more minutes to talk
yes
about things like that?
Yes, definitely. You
Okay.
will give you the time to talk about the future plan in that regard. Just to give the entire viewers all over the world who are watching us through Crypto TV Plus right now, we've been able to hear Dovi take us through in terms of the history a little bit from where we came from. The original code was developed by Andre Cronje in YFII 1 or YFII.finance 1. But however, due to some certain concern about will and how they want to probably control a decentralized community, certain improvement had to be made. But upon voting, it didn't actually go well. The majority wanted a change, but for some few, it didn't go through as a result of the 33% that was needed to sometimes form a quorum. However, the entire community moved on. There's this notion out there which tried to make it look like YFII 1 are for the English people, YFII 2 are for the Chinese community. That's actually not the case. The technology is decentralized, the technology is open, and virtually anybody can be able to use the same code and build something better. But we YFII 2 have decided to take it a little bit in a much more decentralized manner where people from all over the world can be able to participate and join. Dovi has also given us some breakdown in terms of what the Chinese community are doing with over 10 WeChat groups. And we also have a community from the English side who are active within Telegram. We have, including the Weibo, including as well as from the Twitter. So all these tends to show how decentralized the entire community is. And not just that, David has been one of somebody who's key in the industry, not just today, but even way back in 2017 when Dovi and David had met. And YFII 2 being one of the first in the world to be able to totally burn down or destroy the anon key, which does not give anybody or single individual control over what YFII will be. So the governance is totally public, the governance is totally decentralized, and we are always open to integrate more input from the people. So this is part of the summary in terms of what Dovi has taken us through, and I'll give Dovi 5 or 10 more minutes to take us through some other further statistics. And afterwards, I will bring in David, who will give us some understanding from the developer side. David is the person who also was able to propose the YIP8 or the Yen improvement proposal, and we'll get to hear from David after Dovi is done. So I'll hand over to Dovi again to take us through for 5-10 more minutes through certain statistics. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the summary, Lucky. And yeah. So like the other thing is, I think so I posted on Twitter like a few days ago, because right now we have a completely new domain. Like previously the domain is YFII.finance, and so we already upgraded like the entire domain to DeFi.money, DeFi.money. So I think the initial thought when it comes to the YFII, and we definitely inherit a lot of design philosophy from, so we definitely inherit a lot of design philosophy from Andre on the YEarn. But going forward, and I think there's a lot of things that we can have our own innovation, and there can be bottom-up approach, and just so like we have been getting a lot of like great idea in our community here. So like that's why right now the new domain can support 5 different languages. It can support English, Indonesian, like Thai, Japanese, and Chinese. So I think the community is definitely not for Chinese, and even though right now it's a little bit over-indexed to the Chinese community, we definitely need more regional, local volunteer like to help up. So just like to help us to like expand, so to expand the boundary of the whole YFII ecosystem. Like a few plans that we are currently doing right now other than the YEarn strategy, because if you think about what the vault is, right? Like the vault is just a yield optimization, like just like, so like the vault itself, it is a yield optimization aggregator. It is like any of your, so it is like a passive investment account, right? Think about that. So other than that, we have a lot of like unfair regional advantages, I would say. Like say for instance, China here on the ground, there are a lot of like so the majority of the Bitcoin miner and then Ethereum miners, 70-80%, they're all here in mainland China. And so right now I'm in Chengdu, so that is at the capital of Bitcoin mining, and so probably 80% of the Bitcoin hash rate is actually in Chengdu province here. And like all the miners came over to me saying how I can involve in DeFi, right? They have like freaking no idea. So we have been working closely with them, and then to see whether we can get them to actually get on top of our YFII ecosystem. Say for instance, they can simply wrap their BTC and then put it in our vault, and then which can make our vault has a much higher TVL, and then we can have more dry powder, so we will have a lot more dry powder to think about our overall yield optimization strategy. And so that's one thing that we will definitely do that's one thing that we will definitely do in the coming weeks, because so if you think about where are all this capital coming from, and it shouldn't be just from DeFi money, so it shouldn't be just from like Ethereum money, right? And so majority of the crypto money out there are sitting either on Bitcoin, and then that's something that we should rally, and that's something that we have very unfair advantages, like when it comes to like Chinese miners, stuff like that, right? That's one thing that we are thinking about. And then the other thing we are thinking about is also very so I would say we have been approached by many of these tier 2 or tier 3 centralized exchanges here down in China. I think a lot of international members out there know OK, Huobi, Binance, Gate, etc. But I think there are probably 100 other second-tier exchanges. Like all of them are centralized exchanges, and they have no idea how to get involved in like DeFi, so we have been talking about a very interesting ideas such as initial YFII offering, right? And so because now we have a very strong community and we have this vault as the we have the vault as the distribution mechanism. And in the future, if there's any DeFi protocol and wants to distribute their own platform token or governance token, so they can actually leverage our platform as as a very robust channel. Those are the two things that we are thinking about doing just in near term, and we have a very long backlog of things that we want to do, and like a lot of things is just up in the air, and I think only sky is the limit. And the other thing I'm very super excited about is this is the first time I see there's a very organic and bottom up Chinese community. So like previously, and I have very little to no confidence like when it comes to Chinese community can self-organize a very strong like DAO style just organization. And so, but I think this time I'm gonna change my idea, because once I've worked with all the volunteers, and once I realized once I realized like the actual passion and like the long-term vision of the developers behind YFII, and so I think right now I definitely fully convinced like the long-term future of the projects. And yeah, and I think those are the two potential things that like the lowest hanging fruits that we will definitely be doing for the whole YFII ecosystem. And I think that's pretty much all about it. And yeah, I want to hand over to either Lucky or David, and they can talk about what their experience. And I think especially for David, and because like he's actually the brain behind he's actually the brain behind the whole thing. Like he's like David is a little bit nerd. I would say like he's not a very like talkative style, and but like he's definitely smart and super humble, and so I love David, and I just think it's unbelievable that just something out of nowhere, like what I used to consider as a vaporware, I would say probably useless, probably valueless, so can align us all from like different corners like of the world. That is at the true power of like DeFi. That is at the true power of something that's borderless, something that's meta solvent. We have seen so many conflicts like when it comes to like geopolitical tension or like all these segregations happenings, like social segregation, like cultural segregations. But this is something that I have seen can unite us all, and which is just awesome. And yeah, and so like one last thing I want to add is I have been thinking really hard on what is the intrinsic value of YFII, because when Andre first launched YFI1 and like he said, okay, it's useless, so it is not useless, so it's valueless. Like this thing should just probably worth zero. But like we have seen the price of both YFI1 now flip Bitcoin, so per unit price, right? And like the total market cap right now is over 300 million. And like the little sister of YFI1 is our YFI2, and the price right now is also over like 1,200, right? So I didn't check today, but it's definitely pretty high. So to many people out there, so a lot of friends ask me, what is the intrinsic value of this thing? Is it just another fat token or another, just vaporware? And like the more I think about it, it's definitely not vaporware, right? Because we know the vault is a passive investment account, right? So if you think about how Fidelity makes money, so if you think about how BlackRock make money, right? So right now the money, like the value accretion, so like the value accrue all goes to the token itself, right? So it's basically like a decentralized mutual fund type of thing. So the token will actually collect like all the fees that generate by the investment strategy. So the token itself, like we can have valuation. It's the first time that we can have valuation of any crypto asset. So previously it's so hard for us to do a valuation model, like how you can value a Bitcoin. Okay, we have something like stock to flow, but that's a little bit idealistic, I would say. How you can value currency, right? How you can value utility token, right? So how you can value all this pure voting token, right? So but like YFI 2 is different. YFI 2 and YFI 1, like those are the tokens that are different, because the first time we can have this future cash flow model. So we can either use discounted cash flow, or like we can use the other traditional finance valuation model on the token itself. So it's not useless. Like it might be overpriced, but it's definitely not worthless. So I think that's the intrinsic value of this YFI 2 as a investment strategy optimization token. Yeah, that is the last point. Like that is the last point I want to add. And okay, so Lucky, do you wanna hand it over, or
right.
David? We can.
Yes. Okay, thank you, thank you, Dovi, for that quick summary and breakdown throughout the entire process. You know, one thing we keep telling people is that the concept of DeFi is far more bigger than what we think. When Satoshi Nakamoto started the concept of Bitcoin blockchain, we never knew we would go this far. We thought it was like probably some sort of crazy nerd idea and all of that. But coming back to see what DeFi is doing now, yield aggregators and all of that. In case you're just joining us, this is still YFI.finance 2, first meetup all around the world to connect the people from different parts of the globe, to enable them get to know what YFI.finance is all about, especially from the angle of DeFi 2. What we need to update most persons who probably don't know the concept of what we're trying to explain today is that for the first time in the history of humanity, we are having to use code, blockchain, the entire concept behind blockchain, to decentralize finance, especially for the hedge fund industry. Now, the people who probably might think, oh, who are we coming after? This is not a case of if we're coming after anybody. This is a case of where a solution is being built, and we feel the solution will be used mainly from the angle of decentralized finance kind of model. We feel this solution will impact greatly the people who are within the hedge fund space, because for the first time in the history of humanity, you don't have to go everything directly in BlackRock or Fidelity. You can stay from the comfort of your home and try out the concept of hedge fund. It's still a new concept, I must say. We still try to tell people to take caution as you try to dabble into this. Don't put more than what you think you can afford to lose, because it's still new. And sure, the entire team from developer side, David, trying to do quite a lot of things to help out, see that this is transparent enough, this is good enough. That's the case. So I'm bringing down David on board for him to come and take us through the developer angle. So please, you have to also bear with us. David is more nerdy, like Dovi had said, so you will just accept him, pay close attention. He doesn't like to talk too much. He's very detailed in his explanation, and just please listen. You can keep dropping your question. I'll go through them from the chat on Crypto TV Plus. In case you don't know, this is the media. The entire streaming is coming live from Crypto TV Plus. Go to their Twitter handle and you can be able to follow them. Go to YFI.finance, which is YFI 2 main Twitter handle. Go to our Telegram group, go to our WeChat group. You'll be able to see us, or go on CoinGecko or Coinmarketcap. You'll be able to see a link that will guide you straight down to any of our social media platforms. So thank you to Crypto TV, and I will hand over now down to David for David to speak from the developer side, and I will come take a wrap for the entire one. Thank you. Over to you, David.
Oh. Okay, hello, Lucky, can you hear me?
Yes, we can all hear you from all over the world. People are streaming live from everywhere.
Okay. Okay, hello everyone. I'm David White from YFII community and made the Wi-Fi's YIP8 proposal. Then I implemented. And let me introduce the background of proposal YIP8 and update on developers' progress. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go on, David. You want to share your screen?
Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. First, let me introduce the YIP8. As we know, the farming of YFI started from July the 17th and stopped on July the 26th. In order to prevent a sharp decrease of liquidity in these farming pools, we proposed YIP8. We suggest a weekly halving model for yield mining. Though more than 80% of the votes are for the proposal, it has been declined because of the unmet 33% of quorum requirement. Then we forked the YFI, naming it as YFII. The issuers of YFII imitates the halving models of Bitcoin so that the tokens will be fairly distributed to the community members. And I think when we make the proposal, there are some advantages of the Bitcoin halving model, such as halving every week is quite easy to be understood in the crypto community, and easy to make memes of YFI. YFI is the Bitcoin in DeFi for various spreading, and enough time for the market to reach the equilibrium. I think the liquidity providers YFI's revenue is halved every week while taking the same risks. This will result in a steady change in liquidity. This is the concept of the YIP8. So, okay, so let me introduce another part of the project, the how to verify the safety of the YFII system. So we burn the keys. There are total of 5 transactions to burn the admin authorities. Okay, let me copy and paste in the text area.
Yeah, you can as well just share your screen if you want to, because that's the only way the entire community can see you. You can share your screen right at the top. You say share screen. Once you click share screen, that's it. And if you want to do that, so that will make more sense that way.
Okay, cool. Okay, let me share my screen.
Cool.
Cool. Okay. This is the first transaction. Okay. And this set the governance to 0x0. This contract is the YFII tokens, and as we see, there are set governance, and
yes.
In this transaction we set governance to 0. Okay, and the pool one, there are 2 transactions. This is the first one. Okay, we set reward distribution to 0, and this one. Okay, renounce the ownership. So these 2 transactions make the ownership to 0x0. So no one can mine tokens in the pool 1, except the contract itself. And balancer pool, there are also 2 transactions. Okay, the YFII.finance balancer. Set reward distribution to 0x0. And this one, renounce ownership. Okay, these two transactions to let the admin cannot mine any tokens, and all the miners transactions is here. This is all the transactions of the admin. So I can paste it in the text area. So the total 5 transactions made the burn of the keys of the Wi-Fi 2 system. Okay.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, let me introduce the more things about the project. Some interesting is the opinion of Andrew Kronis with Wi-Fi 2. Here are the interview by Hasu and Andrew. They make some interview. The Andrew says it was a discussion of that on the forum once about creating different YERNs for different regional and or demographic segments, which also think is good. It goes like one of the reasons why I support it. The why I support the Wi-Fi 2 fork is because that they are there. So it's very interesting. I can paste the article in the text area. And I think Android is for Wi-Fi 2 community, while YFI community not. Okay, let me introduce some progress of the developments. First, the developers are focused on what strategy developing. Now the Wi-Fi 2 community has more than 30 smart contract white hats and 20 front-end developers, 80 operating and marketing members. We recently created a new group to make the yield strategies and collect the intelligence from all kinds of crypto channels like Twitter and the Discord. We also have deployed the strategies to YAM and Curve and Grape. The Chicken.finance on the way. We have optimized the harvest system. When the user claims the harvest from a certain pool, they can get 1% of the yield to cover his gas fee. Because in the old version of the vault, we used the robot to claim the fees, and it cost a lot of money. So we want to incentivize the users to claim the tokens, because each claim will cost about 0.05 ETH. With this function, this let the Wi-Fi 2 system more automatically. Okay, another optimization is to put the money from the temporary area into the target project's contracts automatically. When the funds in the pool is more than 10 kilo USD, this fund will be sent to the pool by the next transaction. Okay, a new wallet website has been developed, DeFi.money, and this is our new wallet. And the funds in the pool will automatically deployed with the highest APY strategy. You do not need to withdraw the same tokens to a new pool for better yield. It will automatically change. Oh, okay. That's all the progress of Wi-Fi 2's development. Okay, thanks for support. Okay, Lucky.
Okay, so thank you, David. Just to also give us a little bit of summary of what David has taken us through so far within the time he just spoken, is first of all, he took us through the history to show proof about even admin keys, even developers cannot in any way have this total autonomy of where founders can decide to say, oh, they mine more coins than the rest of the other community people. That's not possible. Why? Because there are proof to the fact that the keys were burned and everything was set to even zero in terms of governance. David showed us two different pools, because one of the ways to which YFI2 mining had worked, it's in terms of people can decide to go do some form of staking either in the yen pool or in the balance pool. So whether you do from the yen pool or the balance pool, irrespective, for those two various pools, David was from the Ether scam. That's what he was trying to share the other time when he was showing us something from the Ether scam slide per se. Now, that aside, there are certain concepts that some of us probably might not get or did not get, which is from the angle of YFII.finance is having something of a new domain where people are able to utilize. What is the new pool? Previously, it used to be called, what is the new website? Previously, it used to be called YFII.finance, but now it's now DeFi.money, which is so the same thing, or that's where most of the most recent pool have been migrated to. I will let you share my slide and you will see what I'm talking about in regards to that. Now, that aside, he also have been able to let us know in terms of the various codes, the various projects that are coming up, or the various pools that are coming up. Now, by the fact that you hold YFI, or for the fact that you want to stake into the YFI pool, you can go do some farming in Grape.finance. You can also do some form of staking in DeFi.money, and there is a new other pool that is also coming up. Though it might not be popular right now, or the information is not that pronounced right there. So this is to let you know that Chick.money is also going to be another particular place where you can be able to go stake or be able to do some farming and generate for yourself some income. This concept, like I told you, is still new. This concept, like I told you, is still in its earliest phase. But one thing we are setting, and we try to do every audit, we try to ensure that all codes have been checked over and over again. It's still a new concept, but sure, what we're trying to build is simply a much more decentralized finance that will provide a much more better yield aggregators, which is almost similar to what you have in traditional industries, like what the likes of BlackRock are doing. But in this case, not in the traditional sense, but in a much more decentralized manner, using just simply community governance and code. That's what we're trying to do. It's still a new concept, but sure, we're moving and we're taking it down to another level. Now, David has also been able to take us through other improvements which the community right now, in terms of the developer team, are currently doing or undertaking. You heard the last time when Dovi was able to tell us in terms of for developers, groups that are in charge for some form of governance. We have different groups that are trying to bring our concept. Everybody have the opportunity to be able to make input into YFII or YFI2.finance through using their token to be able to cast vote. I'm going to show us that right after this. So this is what David has been able to take us through. David is more of the net guy. David is more of the guy who does more of coding and development, and he doesn't have to explain too much. So sometimes I know there is this gap between those who are too technical and those who are too traditional, or those who are not as technical as David. So that's why the likes of myself and Dovi will always be here to always bridge that gap to help for much more smoother communication in the entire sense. So more developments are currently being ongoing. You hear more later news after my own quick presentation. So I'm going to take you through in terms of, first of all, starting from YFI.finance, and I'll take you through DeFi.money, and I'll show you what it means for people to stake, and I'll show you what it means for how to stake, or how the entire process goes. Now, there were challenges from the original inventor. When I mean the original inventor, there were still some community issues that needed to be sorted out from YFI1. This led to the YFII.finance, which David had talked about in terms of the Improvement Protocol 8, and that has been the progress we have been able to make. So for us now, we've been able to carve out for ourselves the difference between YFI1 and YFI2. But sure, we cannot definitely say this without having to thank the likes of Andre Conge. Andre Conge have been the guy who originally developed this concept, and it was from his original idea that all these are beginning to come into place. I must also use the opportunity to thank Andrew Conge for the fact that even when YFI2 had to migrate, he was willing to support and show some contributions. Absolutely, we'll thank the people even in YFI1. These are all still some form of good product, but what we're doing in YFI2 give us some form of much more decentralized, robust ecosystem, and we intend to build YFI2 to make it great, to make it better, and that's where we're going. So our own goal is to use the technology to decentralize the entire traditional system as much as possible. We hope that with our solutions and what you have in decentralized solution, the world will become a better place, because we still believe that both can still work side by side or power by power, allowing people to make options of what is best for them. Sure, it's still an innovation, trade with caution, and take it one step at a time. So right now, myself, I'll be taking us through what I just explained, or I'll be talking about in a few minutes. The first thing you need to do in terms of trying to interact with the decentralized finance or the YFI community, you should have some form of DApp installed on your browser, simply through the aid of MetaMask. There's some the other form of decentralized kind of wallet like MetaMask, Trust, different type of them, whether you're Ledger Nano, as much as you can. But first of all, I will share my screen, and when I share my screen, you'll be able to see part of what I have just talking about right about now. I'm believing that virtually all of us can be able to see my screen right now. And for those of you who don't have MetaMask wallet, you can always be able to do that through your Chrome browser. This is currently being supported via two browsers popularly, either from Chrome or from Firefox. Now, once you install your Chrome browser, be careful. There are quite a lot of other imitation out there, but there's one original one which you can also be able to see. Once installed, you should be able to see it as an extension right about this corner. You need to open that up. That's the first thing you need to do before you even go to the website. It's quite much more easier that way. And when that is done, you can just open up your browser, type YFII.finance. Once you click that, it opens up. You can be able to see whether you can stake, you can vote, as the case may be. This main page, actually, this particular website was like the old one. And just like Dovi had told you, because we had to move from the shadows of what YFI1 was to what YFI2 is. The new website is actually DeFi.money, which you just type on your browser, DeFi.money, and once you click, that opens up. So with this, you can be able to see the latest or the new one. You can see the progression from where we were to where we are now. And let me just take you through this entire tree process. First of all, the act of voting is very simple, which gives everybody the opportunity to contribute, take part, decide what should happen to what we're doing in the community, and you can always be able to do that through your own ownership or when you're part of the community, or if you're holding part of the token. That's one thing we can also be able to do through the voting part. That's just easy. But now we're not currently doing any form of voting because this was done in the initial stage. Now, what's the vote? The vote actually gives people the opportunity to see some of the good products that we have out there, but it gives you the opportunity to stake some of your assets, and you with whatever assets that you have, you can be able to put it into it. There are different kind of other profitable vaults that are out there as of today, and you can be able to stake either you're using what they call your wrapped Ethereum syntax link, which I'll be able to show you. But please, you need to ensure that you read through this notification. I deliberately left it here on the screen for you to read through. Even if you're checking that yourself, you can also be able to read through. So I just close the tab. I see all these particular DeFi products from Lend, from Compound, from MakerDAO, the YFI one as well, the link. These are all different kind of products that are out there. So this project, like I told you, is already in beta phase. So use at your own risk is very important. And once we connect, once your MetaMask is connected, which you can only see as an extension here, and you connect, you'll be able to access it. That's from that angle. So in this case, if you were to say you already have some form of Y curve can be gotten from also the yen pool per se. There are still other ways to which people can stake. I will still take us through the entire process in a bit. So I bring us back here. And what am I doing here? This for me is the main page where people can also be able to understand and take advantage of the product. YFI1 on YFII, an open letter from community. You can see or read more about it through this link. You'll be able to see our Twitter handle, our Telegram, Discord, and all that. You can also be able to calculate what they call the yield. How do you know what the yield will be if you were able to stake? Please take note, these yield are not constant. They're bound to change, and quite a lot of them will change in accordance to how the pool money is. And now the three kind of pools out there, from the yen pool to the balanced pool. Then we have the governance pool. The governance pool just gives us the opportunity for us to decide how the development will go, and it's not being necessarily controlled from any single individual. All of us can be able to do that. But at this point in time, I'll tell you not to bother much from the governance pool. But whenever there is this demand from the community, we can always be able to go there and decide what that will be. Now, this is the yen pool. From the yen pool, before you even begin to before I begin to open the game pool, there's a very important link that is here. There's also another important link that is here already on the balance pool. With this link, you can be able to easily get your yen, the Y curve. You can be able to get your Y curve token, which I explained to you just a few seconds ago. And once I click the open button, I can be able to stake here. But before I can stake here on the yen, on this particular yen pool or the curve pool, I need my Y curve token. And the only way I can be able to get my Y curve token, I said now, is just for me to either go through some Uniswap, and I can be able to exchange some of my either Ethereum, Tether, and all of that. With these particular link, you can be able to get your Y curve pool, and with you can be able to get your Y curve token, and with the Y curve token, you can be able to easily stake directly into the pool per se. But one important thing you also need to note: the transaction fee from this particular place from Curve can be very expensive. So if you're fine with the transaction fee on the high side, then that's fine. But we as a community have also been able to solve that to ensure that people don't have to incur too heavy a transaction fee. You can imagine where, let's say, for example, I have 100 DAI, 100 Tether, or 100 USDC. You can switch between them, and you want to get your token per se for the Y curve pool. All you just need to do, either you sell and you convert. Once you convert, to enable you convert, if you click that, definitely it's going to prompt you for your own MetaMask wallet to accept. Once you accept this, it will take off the money from there, and you can see the transaction fee right now somewhere around $3.30. And that's the case for this. But that aside, if you already have the Y curve token, you can just come here already. Once that is done, you would be able to see the balance of the Y curve token that you've exchanged with your USD Tether or with your DAI, and you can come here, stake them. In the cost of staking them, you put the amount you need. Let's say you just want 10 in the entire process. You put that which you want to stake, and once you're done, you just click stake. You could see the stake button here. You could just click stake, and you're good. And that's it. So you don't have to do much. Now, whenever your stake have been able to give you or been able to mine some form of the reward, either as YFI token itself, you can easily claim. To claim is just like collecting back what is originally yours from the pool. And once you claim, you'll be able to see the balance. You can at any point in time on stake. So now, what's the difference between us and probably the traditional projects that are out there? The difference is that you can just wake up any morning in the morning, go to a hedge fund company where you've kept your money for much more higher yield, and you expect them to just give you the money right away, like within the next minute. But the function of what decentralized finance is, you can come in anytime, you can go out anytime, right from the comfort of your home on your computer. You don't have to actually do anything much, just probably a transaction fee that will cost you. In the same way, for those of you who don't want to stake in this particular yen pool, you can also be able to do that on the balancer platform. How do you do that? You need a BPT token to utilize the balance pool itself. The form of liquidity. How do you add liquidity? Adding liquidity is just to exchange, let's say, your 100 USD Theta or your 100 DAI or your 100 USDC, and you want to get the BPT token. As at this very minute, we could see a total liquidity of over $22 million that have been staked into this particular balancer pool. So with this, to add liquidity, just click on liquidity. But before you click on liquidity, you need to also connect your wallet. Remember, if you connect your wallet, this is my MetaMask wallet. In this case, it's going to prompt me to accept, meaning I'm trying to communicate with this particular website with the aid of my decentralized or my wallet, which is MetaMask. Once I accept, it will connect automatically so that this tool can be able to see or receive the particular money. You cannot do this if you actually do not own the actual wallet or don't have access to the actual wallet. So you don't need to be scared like probably you're exposing the entirety of your balance or whatever it is there. It's only what you approve to be taken that will be taken. And once that is done, you could liquidity. If you already have DAI in your wallet, it's very easy for people to buy DAI these days. There are platforms that are selling, there are exchanges that are selling DAI, inclusive like Coinbase and all of that. You could just buy your DAI, accepting it here. And you can also as well get your YFI. So if you already have YFI, you could do this. If you already have DAI, you could also do this. So whether you want to add your YFI token, the YF22 token, that's for those who already have them. You also check this toolbox. But if you don't, then there is no need for you to check both boxes. But for those who are trying it for the very first time, we always recommend that you try it with single asset, which is DAI, because trying it for the first time means you've never had access to YFII or YFI token before. And with these, you can be able to add liquidity. You can be able to add liquidity per se. And once that is done, you can also be able to see that you will just need to connect your wallet and you're good to go. By clicking this point, you add liquidity, and whatever the amounts you want to add into liquidity, let's say you want to add $100 into the pool, say 98%, the entire 100% will be totally DAI. But if you're adding it from this other pool here, 98 will be DAI, 2% will be YFI. In that order, there's also a chart which I will show you. As you can see, immediately I click 100. Just watch. I want you guys to all watch this particular portion again. Immediately I click. All right. Let's say 20. All right. Irrespective of where I click, 98 will be DAI, 20% will be this. So this is one simple way to which those of you who want to add either through this balancing pool, as the case may be. But this, like I said, is like the old pool per se. But so let me take you down to the original one or the newest one right now. This is YFI. Like I told you, this is still in a better phase. All you just need to do is to connect your MetaMask wallet. That's for those of you using MetaMask, the different kind of wallet you can use. You can connect anyone you find with, and you'll be able to just go straight into the pool. So all you just need to do is to deposit to earn. How do you deposit to earn? The concept is just simply putting up your couple of dollars. For those of you who want to probably take a risk of $100, put it into the pool. Whatever that will be used, whatever that you earn as a result of putting $100 into the pool, into any of the DeFi products, you'll be able to see that here. So with DeFi money, this one is also another quite good pool where you can be able to earn from. You can also use your Y curve to remember. Before you can use your Y curve, you need a Y curve token. You get a Y curve token directly from Uniswap, or you go through all the link I showed you earlier before. With your wrapped Ethereum, you can also be able to do that. Same as Link as at this point in time. So what do we need to do here? In case you already have your YFII token, you just need to do a deposit. And for you to deposit, you just put in, let's say you just want to put one FI token, and then you're good to go. Once you do that, you approve. But once you approve, before you approve, definitely YF token needs to be taken off your decentralized wallet like MetaMask. Once you accept this, it will be taken, and once it's taken, you'll be able to see the balance here. And once you see the balance here, you can just immediately deposit, and you're fine. The same analogy I've explained here also work virtually with all of this. That is, if you already have your Y curve token person. If you don't have the Y curve token, you can go get it on Uniswap, import the contract address for these, and you exchange your Ethereum immediately with Y curve token, and your Y curve token will be visible on your MetaMask wallet. And once it's visible on your MetaMask wallet, you can come here, connect it, and that's it. So it's very easy. The concept of trying to use DeFi that money makes it very simple. How do we migrate? How do we conclude? The concept of using this particular part of this wallet is to help us ensure that you don't have to keep doing everything manually. For every time a new pool, or for every time a profitable pool is added into it, let's say we want to aggregate the likes of BlackRock, Fidelity. Which one between BlackRock and Fidelity? Which one of these, for example, I'm just trying to use the traditional concept here, so you understand what I'm saying. Let's say this is BlackRock, this is Fidelity. Between dropping your money with Fidelity or giving your money to Fidelity and BlackRock, which one of them will give you better profit? You cannot probably say. But what this DeFi money will be able to do, it will automatically move whatever assets that you have staked into the pool into the most profitable one. So you don't need to worry yourself about, for example, BlackRock is giving more better ROI than, let's say, Fidelity. Fidelity is giving more better ROI than BlackRock. Or irrespective of whatever the hedge fund company is doing. You don't need to worry yourself about which one will do that for you. Automatically, that has been built into the system here, and it will just migrate it into the best pool. And there's still other good pools that are coming out that are supporting the concept of YFII pool token. What are these other concepts? Apart from DeFi money, you can see Finance. Finance is still another pool or another place where people can be able to farm. Finance support also the YF2 pool. So just technically, it's more like, should I put my money in BlackRock? Should I put it in Should I put it in Fidelity and all of that? There are so many other pools that are beginning to support the concept of what we're doing, and that's what Grape Farming is doing. And once you type GRAP.finance, you'll be able to see it. You connect your MetaMask wallet as well, and once you connect your MetaMask wallet, directly on Liquidity Finance, you'll be able to also probably take a transaction fee, approve, and once you do that, you can be able to stake also directly on this. Apart from Liquidity Finance, David had also mentioned more other platforms are beginning to support the YF2 pool, and the likes of Chick.money, which is coming up. But that announcement already, you've all heard that. Already, and all of them will be coming up so long as we're able to achieve much more better results from the entire process. This for me, it's still a new concept. This for me is still one of the best things that have happened to decentralized finance. This for me is still in its earliest of phase, but we'll continue to build the community in a much more decentralized manner per se. So this for me will be like a little bit of wrap, and you will also be able to hear more other good news that are coming from the community. I would also like to use the opportunity I would also like to use this coming which is more like trying to see how they can list these. I think the information is already out. We don't have to explain that to anybody. Exchanges are now beginning to see the concept of what we're doing in this decentralized space. Sure, they're taking the lead one step at a time, and that is fine from everybody in the community. And we'll continue to encourage all other major exchanges out there who need to list YFII to do so. Reach out to the community. We're a much more richer and better decentralized community. There is no one person know it all, and the entire team have been working behind the background. I cannot but emphasize that there are a lot of developers who are doing a lot of work, and some of them could not be here at this point in time, but they're doing virtually everything possible to ensure that they are able to achieve much more better value, much more better product out there. I will believe with everybody's contribution, decentralized finance will become a thing of 2020. At least this is one good news that should come out from 2020. Take it with caution. We're seeing the earliest phase, errors, core, and all of that, but surely we'll do our best to ensure we update all of this. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now, and Dovi, I'll allow you to also, if there's any last minute thing you want to explain to us or you want to say before we'll call it a wrap. And definitely this will also be a first in a series of its kind for us to continue to update the community about the progress report of what we're doing. One of the good progress report came out just recently is that you can also be able to trade your YF2 right now on one of the Huobi global platform. Once you do that, I think it's already open as of this minute. You can be able to check. There are other exchanges that will be coming up soon. We're already communicating or trying to talk with them to ensure that more better values are added. This concept of decentralized finance, yield aggregators from YF2 is just simply trying to decentralize more like the hedge fund industry in a way, right from the comfort of your home, using code, using blockchain. These are all the things. The intents to Satoshi Nakamoto, even though we still do not know who he is or who they are, surely these are all his original, all trade from him and to other people out there that have done great work, even before Satoshi Nakamoto, inclusive from the cypherphone community. These are just endless people who have done great work and have led us this far. But for us from DeFi community, we'll continue to build. We have some of the most reputable people in the industry who are supporting us, encouraging us right now in this space, and will continue to do so. We are willing to do that, all for the love of the community, all for the love of decentralized finance, all for the love of innovating and improving to make our world a better place. YFII tool is for everybody around the world, from the east to the west, north and south, white or black, irrespective of your location or region, you can be able to use the product. Please continue to follow updates from the community. Continue to learn more. The research is ongoing. The process is still in its earliest phase. We'll continue to develop. We'll continue to innovate. And that's one of the things we'll be able to do. And thanks also to the team, those who probably we could not mention their name as a result of either oversight or something like that. So this is what we'll continue to do to innovate. And also to the crypto television program. These guys have also made it possible for us to have this live streaming all over the world as of today. This is still for the love of the community. Crypto television, it's if not the only television station right now for the love of fourth industrial revolutions like blockchain here and all of that. This is where you can watch all the best of shows. Tomorrow I'll be going in on Inside Blockchain Show, which is one of the most watched blockchain program right now, inclusive from the continent of Africa. We're going to talk more even in details about it. I don't want to bog us much with too much information. And we'll also be able to go back to the chat, and I'll pick some questions from the chat and we'll be able to answer as much as we can. So Dovi, I'll allow you to say something if you want to. If you want to put in one or two last words, then I can go down to the crypto television handle. There are a lot of questions that are probably ongoing out there, and there'll be a series of continuous engagement to update the community about the development of what is happening in this space. And that's what YFI2 is all about. We did not intend to make it in a manner where one person knows all. We want to make it much more decentralized and continue to update the community. So over to you, Dovi. Any last minute words so I can go fetch some of the questions? Thank you. Hello, Dovi. Can you hear me? Dovi? Dovi, can you hear me? If you can hear me, okay, let me just type for you. I'm not sure if you can hear me anymore. David, are you there?
Hello?
Okay, can you hear me?
Here?
Yes, oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Dovi, can you hear me? I want the last minute word, both from Dovi and also both from David. Is there any last thing you want to say to the entire community? I would also try to go fetch some questions from the group, and I will be asking those questions directly as it comes, only from Crypto TV platform. All right, and also, I think I kind of skipped a little bit of information about the APY. So David, can you take the entire community about the APY page? And then once you do that, I will take questions from the group. I would ask either of us so that we throw more light from it. So just take the APY page just to show them quickly what the APY is all about. Remember, guys, APY have a meaning. David will tell us the meaning of what APY stands for. David, over to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Should I use my screen sharing?
Yes, you can use your screen sharing and tell us about APY.
Okay. Hello. Okay, this is the YFII and DAI trading pair. You can visit from the YFII.finance, and this is Y curve is the pool 1 and YFI2 DAI is the pool 2, and they have different APYs. And let's see this one. This is the pool 2's APY. This is calculated by the price and the total BPTs issued by the YFI DAI balancer pool, and you can see there are most of 100% of the BPT has been staked in the pool 2. So the APY is calculated by the total money deposit in the wallet and get the reverse in a year. So APY means average payment per year. You can say this, but this index will be halved each week if the price if the price is the same, because we have a Bitcoin halving mechanism. So okay, the index will be halved. Let's check let's check the pool one's APY and 168% per year. So if you charge 10,000 USD into the pool one, you can get 16,000 per year. But this index will be halved. You should remember this. Okay. Lucky?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, David. Now, for those of you who also need to know, David, you didn't tell us what's the full meaning of APY.
What's the meaning of APY is the average. You can say it is the average payment per year. I don't think this is a very good index to DeFi, because this index will be changed frequently, and this week, for example, if the price stayed the same as the same, and the APY will be halved each week. Next week, this will be 84%, and another week will be 42%. So it's not a long time index. It's a margin index, I think. Yeah.
Okay, good. So quite a lot of questions that are coming out from the community. So I would just quickly go back and also ask some questions, and I will need you, David, to also help to make some further clarity in that. Somebody called. Sorry guys. Actually, I may not be able to pick all the entire questions, so I will reading through directly as the ones I could see or the ones I can find directly. So APY just tends to give you an understanding of what the average profit or yield per se you're able to get at the end of the entire staking, let's say per year or something of that nature. When you go to the website of let me take us back again to my slide. I just want to take us back again to my slide. Okay, good. When you go to just a minute. Okay, good. So when you come here, when you go to YFII.finance, you can be able to see the yield, the pool yield calculator for each of the pool. Pool 1, pool 2, pool 3. Pool 1 starts for yen, pool 2 is for the balancer, pool 3 definitely is for governance, but pool 3 is not really a functional thing right now. So once to be able to check that out, somebody asks how can they be able to get these? All you need to do is to connect your connect back your MetaMask wallet again. And once you connect back your MetaMask wallet again, you should be able to see the average pool per se for each per year. Look at it. It's actually unstable. It's not a fixed thing. This is APY unstable, 182% in this case, but it could go down, it could go up as the case may be. So this is just the concept. Just to answer the person's question, that said or that asked if how can he be able to see or know what the APY is all about? That's one. Now, somebody asked again, Sabret2 said, can you explain the 1% harvest fee? I didn't catch what that means. So somebody wants us to explain what is 1% harvest fee. David, can you explain what the 1% harvest fee means? I think we left that part. Somebody called Sabret2 just asked the question. Please, the slide will be necessary for us to explain what the harvest fee is about. So David, can you just talk about what the harvest is about? There's something called harvest claim. Harvest is just a concept that gives people the opportunity. Anybody, any part of the world can be able to just earn that interest. It's just like a profit. It's just like a way of helping people to earn interest off it. Let's say you decide to use the traditional banking system, for example. There is this profit sometimes they make, which they're bound to either give you a particular percentage as this. The harvest is just like monarchy residual income within the pool that anybody can earn. So what it means is, so long as the harvest is coming, it's like a 1% that will be left for anybody. It's kind of a fun thing in a way. Anybody can claim it. So long as you have YF2 token, you can just claim that. So sometimes you could come into the pool, you could just say, oh, the pool have 0.0 something YF22 in it. You could just claim, so long as you have your own token that have been staked before, you could claim. It's like an open free money courtesy of the way the mechanism was designed for all the community people to participate and end that. That's what 1% harvest fees. But I will allow David, so please just go to your slide again, talk about what the harvest is all about so that the people can see you. Thank you, David.
Okay, fine. So Hello?
Yes, go on, please, David.
Has not been transferred to
Okay.
link. Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay.
The harvest mechanism is like this. The total Y curves you deposit into the vault will be transferred to the curve farming pools and generate yield. This is the total yield be generated by the curve smart contract. So when a user can click the harvest, they can get reverse with 1% of the revenue. It is say 0.001676 because this index will be increased time after time. But when you choose to harvest, when confirmed, it will cost you a lot. Okay. When you click the harvest, you will cost. Okay, let's change the trading pair. This one. Well, wait a minute. This is not very good. Well, the Web3 providers has been broken. Let's refresh the page. Okay, you can see the yield has 3.08 YFII. Then you choose to click the harvest. Okay, then when you send the transactions, you need about 0.05 gas fee that with the gas price of 82. The actually gas fee will be half of this. Okay, about 0.03, but this is 12 US dollars, and this is your yield, and your yield is 1% of the total. So when the 1% of worth value of YFII is more than $12, and then you can click harvest to earn money from this. The yield is generated by all the tokens you have deposited into the Curves smart contract. So that there will be money. I think about 3 or 4 hours you can check the harvest and claim to earn some monies. This also automatically change the Curve tokens into YFI tokens through the Uniswap, through the routers. And the other trading pair has the same functions. Yeah, okay. This is the function of the harvest. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So that's nice. Dovi, can you hear us? Hey, Dovi, are you here? Dovi, can you hear us? There are some questions coming from the people and they want to ask you some questions. Dovi, if you can. Okay, Dovi, can you hear us?
Dovi has offline.
Okay, for some reason, I don't know why we can't hear Dovi for now. But however, another user is asking, what is the difference between why a user called Moshe said, hey, can you please start, sorry, a user said, can we explain the difference between YFI1 and YFI2? Actually, I would just answer this one myself a little bit, and maybe David can also throw in more light. YFI1 was actually the original creator. That's the name of the person that created the concept of this YFII. He was the original person that created it, but after creating it, he allowed the community to govern it. He himself did not allow the spirit of non-decentralization to take over him. He gave everybody opportunity to participate in it, including he himself. He created it, made it open, and everybody could participate in it. He never had anything left for himself. He just joined every other person to start from the scratch, and that's it. So YFI1 was the original innovation of it, but the case of where whales, or what they call the big asset holders, trying to control the governance style of the entire process, led to people trying to ask, why do we have to go through a certain means? Because there were certain challenges about some whales trying to move out money, redo that again, and this will impact the entire ecosystem. So technically, it was not really healthy for what DeFi stands for. And people had to come together to vote. And based on the voting pattern, it was transparent that about 80% or more had the need for certain governance mechanism to be changed. But that was revolted or not agreed upon. That was not agreed upon by some of the guys who I was called Will in this case, and that led to the forking of YFI2. So it was because of decentralization, because we wanted even the small holders of Wi-Fi to be able to have a say in the community. That led to what the emergence of YFI2. And that came as a result of Yen Improvement Proposal 8, which was like a proposal submitted to the community. David actually was also part of that. When he submitted to the community for the community to agree to this, that led to what YFI2 became today. So YFI2 personally became like the new brainchild of the original YFI1. Still, both projects were supported by Andre Conge, who was the original inventor of YFI1. So I hope this is able to answer some questions for the person who's asking what's the difference between YFI2 and YFI1. Actually, I don't know if I can be able to answer all. Somebody asks again, where can he see the APY calculator? Is there on the website. Once you just log into YFII.finance, you see something around tool for pool 1, pool 2, pool 3. To be able to see the calculator, you need to connect your MetaMask or whatever your decentralized or your DApp wallets that you have, and you'll see the API calculator. Remember, it's unstable, it's not fixed, so it's not like 100%, 20% or something. It changes in regards to what the total amount that is available in that pool. So that's a question from one of the users. I don't know, quite a lot of questions. APR, or somebody asks, is it APY or APR? I think it's APY, that is root comms. I hope that explained that. They tell me the expected ROI, at least somebody, no, okay, I don't have to take this. Somebody said, I stake YFI on gov.y.finance. Is that okay? Right now, you do not earn interest when you go to the governance pool to stake, because governance pool is just strictly allowing people to decide what should be done, where should money be pulled into, and all of that. It's more like helping to determine which way we should go. Dovi, are you back, please? Okay, I'm not sure why Dovi's unable to get back. Okay, that's a little bit. Let me just get one more question. So, David, can you throw a little more light? Why did YIP8 became the fork of YFI1? Can you throw a little more light? Can you just say something about it? Why I fetch more question? Thank you.
Okay, YFI1. Let's check the original forum, and this one.
Mm-hmm.
Let me share my screen. Okay, this is the proposal 8, halving Wi-Fi's weekly supply, the same as Bitcoin, because many of our community members has the early adopters of Wi-Fi's mining, and the progress is very soon. It just only in just 7 days, and we can not mining more tokens anymore. So I think it's more elite oriented. So we think to halve the mining yield will continue to enlarge the communities. You can say this. The the YFI's mining will be ending in 3 days, while the whole crypto communities need more time to understand the complex mechanism in such a short time. YFI cannot generate an effective market pricing because the liquidity in pool 1 and pool 2 will be removed when the farming ends, and there is no centralized exchange to list YFI, so the price will be very fragile to pump and dump, say like this. So we want to halve this. Okay, but
Okay.
the YI. Okay, we cannot. Let's see. So the proposal has 80% of supporting rate, while did not meet the minimum quorum. The quorum is 33%, but now 20%. Okay, so we decide to fork the entire system. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. This is the discussion. You can find this. Okay, cool.
Now, there's a particular question that keeps coming up. Yes, David, can you hear me? There is a particular question that keeps coming up. Some people want to know about what is the APY for the vote, because they already have an understanding of what the APY for the pool is. So they want to know what is the APY for the vote. You know, I guess they're a little bit confused between the APY for the pool and the APY for the vote. Yeah. I would like if you could throw more light. What is the APY for the vote? Can you throw light on that?
Yeah, the APY of the vote differs from the different strategies. For example, in the last week, our strategy is targeted at YAM and get a very huge reward by this strategy. Now we have less high APYs project, so the benefit will low down a bit, and so we are our strategy group are finding more high APYs project now. So I think there will be many new things in the future. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Though actually, due to time, there are quite so many other questions coming up in terms of what is the APY for the vote? Actually, different APYs that come, different APY questions seems to be coming up more, and this definitely shows that the people also want to know more about the APY for the votes over the APY for the pool. We'll definitely help to explain even further more in this regard. But Dovi, if you're back, just let me know by saying hi. All right. All right, Dovi, can you hear us? For some reason, we don't know why we've not been able to connect to Dovi. I seem to see her charts, but I don't know. Dovi, can you hear us? Okay, if that is done, while the team continue to try and see if they could get Dovi back to connect, she seems to be having a little bit in terms of connection issue. Somebody's asking another question in terms of what is YFI. We try to let them know that there's a difference between YFII, ours is double I, and the original one, the first one was YFI, ours is YFII. Some of them are beginning to ask, what is YFMI? We do not know anything about YFFIs. Actually, we don't have anything like WFI as far as we're concerned from our community. So please do not mistake the two. There's a difference between what what we're talking about in terms of what the guys who are probably asking questions from the angle of YFFI. We do not know anything about YFFI. What we stand for is YFII, which is like a double I in this case. All right. I think, I don't know, quite a lot of questions to be frank with you. Somebody asked, there is someone said Lee. Lee said, this is like a Bitcoin with halving price, must go up. Okay, quite a lot of that, probably not too much. Someone asks, why FFI just, okay, it's not really our question. It's not really our question. We can't answer any questions for another community that's not here or not part of us, please. I don't know, the question seems to be repeating itself. We've answered some of these, and I think some of our community people have been able to throw some light in that regard. If at this case, we'll be calling the wrap, but again, to help us further, especially for the community all over the world who probably want to ask some more questions and they don't know what to do, how to go about it. We will, from the community part, myself and Dovi will be hosting some form of either once in a week or once in 2 weeks streaming for the entire community, just to update them what's happening from the angle of the developer side, the community side, the latest information, to keep people at par with what is happening. So in case you want to also follow up on that in terms of our weekly streaming, we could definitely we'll be coming to talk more about that tomorrow, Monday, around about 8 a.m. Nigerian time, just so that I don't confuse people. Inside Blockchain Show on Crypto Television, I'll be speaking there as well to talk a little bit more about this further because of time factor. 8 a.m. Nigerian time, tuning into Crypto TV Plus on the Inside Blockchain Show. I'll be talking a little bit more about it further. And the following Monday, myself, Dovi, and David as well, myself, Dovi Wang, and David will still be coming back, and probably some more other developers will be coming back again on Crypto Television Plus to talk completely more about this due to time factor, due to time constraint. I'm so sorry for those of you guys who feel that your questions is very important and we've not picked them. We will only be able to answer the little we can, but we'll continue to update the community. There are quite over 100 messages here. I can't take all of them, I must tell you, but we will definitely answer each and every one of them, either from the community side, from our Telegram, from our WeChat, from our Twitter. And if you watch us tomorrow, Monday, on Crypto TV, same channel, same station, on Crypto Television Plus, Inside Blockchain Show, 8 a.m. in the morning, Nigerian time. So please, due to the difference of conversion right now, just check what is 8 a.m. Nigerian time in your time, or follow us on our Twitter handle, WeChat, and Telegram community. We'll post more information about it. And if there are questions you want to ask, you can ask them there. The presenters will also be able to pick some of the questions here and ask them as well. Those of you who are asking, can the slide be provided? Yes, absolutely. We are open and transparent in terms of governance of style. Any information you need are always available on the website. But if you want personally the slide that was used for today's presentation, we can share that through the community and you'll be able to get that as soon as possible. Okay, Dovi is finally back. Oh my God. Good, because so many people just still want to see your face one more time before we call it a wrap. So Dovi, can you hear me?
Fine. Yeah, all good.
Oh, good. Now, Dovi is back. Dovi, while you were away, some people were asking some questions, and we had to throw some light, both from David and from myself, and I wanted you to throw some light to the question. Somebody just asked, his name is Wentworth. He asked, who is the owner of this project? Some of them probably think it's Dovi. So a user is asking from the chat group right now. He said, his name is Wentworth. He said, who is the owner of this project?
Who's the owner of this project? And yeah, so
yes,
there's no
YFII.
Yeah, so there's no owner to it, right? Because like I
go on, David.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
What is the owner? Okay, so the question is, what is the owner of this project? Okay. First of all, when you ask this question, and you shouldn't ask, and what you should do is don't trust, verify. Okay, if you go down to this rabbit hole and you will realize and there's no owner, and because like it's very obvious because the admin key has burned, and so no one literally owns this project, because no one can take out a fund, and like no one can actually change, like no one can change the code like without just like without the community consensus, basically. So I think this is the beauty of a decentralized governance. Like, this is the beauty of the decentralized governance system. That so it is not like it is not like any kind of like the legal system that you know, or like the corporate system you know, or the political system that you know for now. And is we are like everybody, just like all the token holders, and all the token holders, they are the owners, and it's a collective ownership, right? All the token holders, they have to vote, and they have to get involved in the community governance process, and so they have to go through the proposals and to actually express themselves. And so if they don't have the proposal, then just vote no, right? And so there's no owner. And so like if you go down to the path and try to verify yourself, and like there's just no owner.
Okay, cool. So just like in the case of the Bitcoin blockchain and all of that, you don't necessarily have a central owner. In the case of decentralized finance, especially from the community of YFII, that is YFII.finance too, we do not have any specific owner. Why? Because even the original key that holds virtually access to all the original tokens that will be out there have been burned. Not even David or any other person have that. He took us earlier through that he took us earlier in his presentation. The same thing, inclusive of the original inventor, Andre Cronje, he actually built it and allowed the community to proceed with it. And everything is open and transparent. For those of you who are still concerned about, so why is the API waiting? Okay, you want to say something, Dori?
Right. So like what I want to add here is that even though there's no like actual owner, but like we have to think about what is the long-term sustainability of the project. And we have seen there are so many DeFi projects like out there, and I think there are many just like different kind of forks of of like YEarn and then as well as for for like YFII as well. So there are many forks out there, and so like you have to think about whether this project can actually run for long term, right? So like it shouldn't be just a flash, right? So I think the long term sustainability and is what what people should ask when it comes to their own investment, or like when it comes to their own valuation. And we have to admit that like even though right now the admin key is burned, and then right now the whole the whole governance is actually under this like DAO style management, and there's still a potential risk when it comes to centralization or like a potential single point of failure. So this is also the same thing for Bitcoin as well, right? Like Bitcoin, and if we look at the current Bitcoin core dev, and there are probably 20-30 people out there, so it's a relatively small team. And then like this is also the same thing for like YEarn, because like Andre and like the other few key developers, and so it's a very tiny development team, and this is like the current infancy stage for YFII as well. We have David, and we have the other 2 developers, and who are the 3 core developers, and we have probably 10-ish other part-time developers. And I think the long-term sustainability coming from, can we organize a very healthy styles when it comes to funding development, and then can we get more independent developer like to join our community, and then to just contributing, shipping, commitment, and like coding in the long run. So like that's why recently we have passed like the community set past the recent proposal that we will set aside a portion of our income from. So we will set aside like a part of our vote income, so to fund the future development. And I think this is something that a bottom up management like we should collectively think about. And then we are also looking for more global residents. So if you're interested in contributing to the code base, and we're like definitely happy to like chat with you, and like anybody can. So like literally like anybody can like just like chat the GitHub, because right now our developers, they're definitely like overburn. So like the bandwidth, like the engineering cycle is just like not enough. Yeah, right. So
thank you.
I myself, right.
Oh, sorry. You want to say last minute before I caught in, because some questions are coming in and I just want to throw light. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so thank you so much. Some people are asking, can we be able to put up some tutorials on YouTube or something like that so that they can be able to watch and know what it is? Tycoon Trader asked this question, asking if we could put up a YouTube tutorial or something. But I think initially when you were offline, I told them that once in a week or once in 2 weeks, we'll be giving them a weekly or bi-weekly updates in terms of what the development is, in terms of the development that is taking place within the community. That is to answer the question by Tycoon Trader. Why be so Kunwa? Dovi, are you? This is like an open question to you. We are hoping that you also be able to be available. The people want to see you give them more bi-weekly updates as well. So I guess you have a lot of followers and fans who are watching all over the world, and that's part of why they still want you to always be there to update them. So I hope we'll be able to deliver for the community by being there for them to update them once a week or once in 2 weeks, either via streaming or something like that, either through Crypto TV, as the case may be, about the summary report. By the way, Pete, for all the viewers that are listening out there, we have some form of English and Chinese and some other language reports that are always being published once in a week. So with this, we'll be probably streaming the summary of all those reports. Myself and Dovi can be able to do something in this regard. I hope that answers the question for us. So Dovi, I believe you are available in terms of being able to do this for the community, right? Once a week or once in 2 weeks, once in a while.
Yeah, so I think so. Right now, we want to set that cadence because I previously, like I said, so there's definitely a gap when it comes to communication between the Chinese community and then also the English-speaking community. So I will definitely try to do more, like especially for the English-speaking community, and because I chat with David like every day. And when it comes to the schedule or cadence and so I would like to do is like let's probably set a cadence for like twice a week, and especially when we have some major updates, and so we can just have like more just like prompt style, right? And so like depending on like what are the updates, but we definitely want to keep the things more lively and just like more lively, and then have a more ongoing basis and just a recurring basis. So so like people around the world can have a good access to what's going on here.
All right, thank you guys. It's already over. It's exactly about 2 hours, one of the longest virtual meetup we've had. And thanks to everybody who have come all over the world to join us, participate in these. And more will be coming. We'll be giving a summary once in a while, every week. And thanks to David, thanks to all the team who could not be here. You can check the link of our social media handle, both on CoinGecko, Coinmarketcap, our Twitter handle, Dovi's Twitter handle, my Twitter handle. They are all available directly on the internet. You can be able to search, ask questions, and any questions that were not asked, we'll try out much as possible to later bring more information to each and every one of you. So thank you guys, and let's make YFI a global product. So thanks to the team who probably were not able to make it, and they are working tirelessly, especially from the Discord channel where we have more developers. Please, we're making an open call to all the developers out there all over the world who want to help make decentralized finance and yield aggregator a great usable product. So please come and join our community. Right now, we are all independently providing this service without any form of remunerations. We are all working together for the love of the community at our own spare time, not because we're being paid by any individual. There are no founders, there are no treasury or anything like that. We're just contributing together. So, and I thank the Crypto TV team. So join me up tomorrow, Monday. I'll be talking on Crypto Television Inside Blockchain Show. And upper Monday, myself and Dovi with David will be coming back on Inside Blockchain Show in the morning to speak, because I think Dovi will not be available at the moment. So thank you guys, and that will be a wrap for the show. Thanks to Crypto TV Television. Check them out on their Twitter handle, and thanks to YFI. Let's make a YFI 2 great. Thank you.
Oh,
hi. Thank you guys.
I'm a smart investor. I dare say that because I understand the cryptocurrency markets and I am up to date on every new development, fintech and blockchain ecosystem. All because I watch the Inside Blockchain show on Crypto TV Plus. Every Monday morning, Crypto TV Plus brings you news headlines of top stories, interview with an expert, and give you detailed market analysis to enable you make the right business moves. Now you too can become a smart investor if you don't miss it. The Inside Blockchain Show, only on Crypto TV Plus.
Hey guys.
Hi. I'm a smart investor. I dare say that because I understand the cryptocurrency markets and I am up to date on every new development, fintech and blockchain ecosystem. All because I watch the Inside Blockchain show on Crypto TV Plus. Every Monday morning, Crypto TV Plus brings you news headlines of top stories, interview with an expert, and give you detailed market analysis to enable you make the right business moves. Now you too can become a smart investor if you don't miss it. The Inside Blockchain Show, only on Crypto TV Plus.